It's gonna be a different. It's gonna be a different episode. Oh, look at. It's gonna be a different episode of the Where's Buffy podcast. It's one of the first times I've ever ran the show without a Diz or a fam. Although it looks like one of the homies is on standby in the back. Brother Kill, what's propping with you, bro?
Man, everything good, man. You know, the hotel down here in Orlando for the week, so enjoying a nice getaway. You know, not my normal backdrop of the studio or whatever.
Nah.
So, you know what I mean?
Wait,
good, man. Hey, I'm not, bro. A free vacation, I'll take it.
You gonna be? Are you gonna be down there? Because it's Super Bowl weekend.
Nah, I fly back Sunday. I get in at 4. I'll be back by 6:30. Best believe we was changing flights. We was doing something. I'm not.
I was going to say I can only imagine being. Nah, it's too much.
I'm not doing
too much.
I'm not doing no landing, finding out we lost. Nah. Trust me, bro. I would have moved flights. I would have done whatever. It would have been train, planes, and automobiles out here to get me to a TV set.
Do you think y'all gonna lose?
Nah, I think we're gonna win.
It should be in the bag. I mean, somebody was telling me they already said Patrick Mahomes is the MVP or whatever of the season.
I can't call it, bro. Man, here's the thing, man. I'm from Philly, so we ain't never gonna. We in the game. I think we could beat them. You know what I mean? Right. So it ain't no cut cards. Like, oh man, I don't know. And you know they got Patrick Mahomes. I don't know if the boy 100%. Fuck. Forget it. If he is 100%, I don't know no other way to think. Like, you know what I mean? It's like I don't know another way. I can't be we in the Super Bowl, but yeah, we gonna lose. Like, nah, nigga, we gonna win.
Damn. Yo, the Eagles gonna win, yo. Hey, niggas act like Patrick Mahomes is a big man or something, yo.
I'm with it.
Yeah, you know, because you know they. Here's the thing that I'm not mad at. I'm not mad at them finally giving a black quarterback. It seems like they got to give somebody that Tom Brady that torch. Like nobody's done this since, and so I'm not mad at it going to a black quarterback. But like you said, bro, y'all acting like this boy is freaking Joe Montana, you know, and you know Aaron Rodgers and Tom Brady all mixed up into one. I'm like, the boy's nice, but yo, we ain't no slouch either.
And it's a whole team sport, yo.
Right, exactly.
And I think they said the Eagles got the best defensive line in history
right now.
I'll take whatever. I'll take whatever props people want to give us. I don't know if it's the best in history, but if that's what they're saying, I'll take it.
I'm saying legit, like it's a stat, like they got the most sacks of any defensive line. So if Pat ain't on his game, that's gonna be a rough night, buddy. You know what I'm saying? Like
it may be.
The thing is, he ain't at 100%. But here's the thing: nobody's at 100% at this time.
Nah,
you know what I mean? But it is what it is, good brother. It's good to see you, Brock. Been a minute, man.
Yeah, likewise, man. Likewise.
Yeah, Brock. What you doing for the Super Bowl? You gonna be chilling? You got a little situation? You cooking up? What's popping on Sunday?
I mean, I'll just be over my girl house, man. I got a lot of other things. Oh, we live. I can't say this online. Man.
It's gonna be a busy day, you saying?
You know what? She might not watch this. She might not watch this till after the fact or whatever, but I'm plotting on the whole you know what I'm saying, proposal thing and shit.
Wow.
So
wow.
That is gonna be the most thing that's gonna be, you know, that's gonna be in my mind more so than anything. You know what I'm saying?
Nah, I feel
you. If anybody's don't be a hater and tell her no shit if you.
Yeah, for real. If don't spill the beans for real. Don't spoil no surprises out there. I don't care.
So I got
the proposal coming, or you proposing on Super Bowl Sunday?
No. I got the meeting with the jeweler on Super Bowl Sunday.
You good, bro. You done said the meeting with the jeweler. Like, see, this that 2000.
You ready?
That new school shit. Meeting with a jeweler, nigga. I went to a jewelry store and there wasn't no meeting stuff.
No, but I was married before you. I want to do it right this time. You know what I'm saying?
I feel you. Back in the day, like we wasn't meeting with jewelers. Like this, that 2023 type thing. Like, you know, I remember taking my man with me. We went to a spot down in Philly, Jewelers Row in Philly. You know what I mean? And try to help them because, you know, we ain't know nothing about no rings and nothing like that. You know what I mean?
I still don't, yo. I still don't. That's why I'm meeting with somebody.
we didn't know back then you could meet with a jeweler. It's like meeting was I'm going to the jeweler store at house, you know, I'm going to White Ball. That was the meeting.
Yo, just don't go to the middle of the mall, B. Don't go to the middle of the mall. You all right?
Yo, who was that to put comment up, yo? I hope it ain't nobody that.
That's Mimi. That's Mimi from Black Rats. But anybody who's watching this live right now, yo, shut the fuck up. Shut the fuck up. What's up, man?
What's up, fellas? How y'all living, man?
Good, man.
Just getting everybody together.
Apologize for being a little late, man. I was watching this show with the wife, man. I had to get that quality time, man. You know what I mean?
You was watching You?
Nah, I need to get on that. Though somebody else told me about that. I was watching don't get on that. All right, don't get on that. This shit called I keep calling this shit shrinkage, and that's wrong.
Shrinking,
yeah.
That's on Apple TV.
That
Plus,
joint hilarious, bro.
Is it? I haven't seen it yet.
That joint hilarious, bro. If you like Ted Lasso, that type of, you know what I mean? Yeah, you'll like it.
Who is Ted Lasso? Who is that?
Oh, you ain't seen Ted Lasso, bro? On Apple? Yeah, you gotta watch that with the wife, bro. That joint hilarious, bro.
What you say,
nice little joint.
I said that joint hilarious. Ted Lasso.
Yeah,
Ted Lasso.
If you like that though, y'all will like this joint Shrinking. Shrinking. I keep calling it that. I said that in a class today. I was teaching the class. They're like, "What you watching?" I'm like, "This show called Shrinkage," and everybody looked at me like I was crazy. I'm like,
yo, I was in class. I've been like, "Pause."
Hey, ew.
What is that? Shrinkage.
Hey, they try to go over. I'm like 30 more burpees. You know what I'm saying?
Coach, you wildin'.
Word.
I actually, shouts out to Black History Month. Shouts out to February also being the month where everything is happening.
Yeah,
like
everything.
I used to, when I at my old job, the job was covering all the news. In February, like legit, Super Bowl, All-Star, the Grammys. It's at least 3 other wrestling events on one night. It don't make no sense. It really don't make no sense. I actually do y'all watch the Grammys? Like at this point in y'all life, do y'all watch the Grammys?
No.
I ain't watching Grammys in 20 years, bro.
Yeah, it's been a great.
I'm gonna keep it funky with you. I don't really watch award shows in general, yo.
Yeah, period. Word.
So
why?
They just like they whack. You know what I'm saying? But I mean, what I would say was like when they finish, I normally just kind of like go on their website and watch all of the performances and stuff. You know what I'm saying? Or the highlights. Yeah, right. That's all.
Same for me. I mean, at the time they don't get it right, man. You know what I mean? When you be looking at the categories, it'd be like hip hop, like this. So again, I just feel like the people that are making those moves and making them decisions, like maybe last year they got it right. Like I try to watch the little pockets. Like whatever year Nas won, I think Nas won last year. Like Alchemist, Gibbs was up for a Grammy. And I'm like, oh, okay, they seem to be, you know what I mean? I think it was like them, Rhapsody was up for a Grammy. I'm like, okay, now y'all talking my language. But most times there's a whole bunch of rappers I ain't never heard of before up for album of the year or whatever. So
yeah.
It's always been like that, right? Because Will Smith, ever since the beginning, they were like, they wasn't even televising it, right?
No, it was times where I did watch the joints, like Suge, like when Suge was, on the stage. Like I was watching, like man, I guess that Brock said no award shows. That was more like the Source Award era, which was a whole different. And then what was that other award show that was real ghetto too? It was ghetto, probably the wrong word, but it was crazy.
You talking about
Ozone?
Either or BET?
Nah, the Ozone Award. Yeah.
Ozone
you get shot at them joints
and whatnot. Yeah. Ozone, it would be what you call Trick Daddy in that.
Trick Daddy, yeah.
Man, I ain't gonna lie. I used to watch the award shows when they had what was that? The Video Music Awards and
MTV ones. Yeah.
I mean, even just I used to watch the Grammys. Like that was like a household staple when I was younger. You know what I'm saying? You had, your Michael Jackson, Motown era, and all that shit. So used to watch it, but now it's just like
it's corny.
Yeah,
it's corny.
Yeah, I think
like Kill said, they get it wrong.
Yeah, I'm thinking about like 94, 95, the hip hop I was listening to. being up at Strictly Hip Hop, none of that stuff was getting nominated. So it was almost like, you know, why bother? You know what I'm saying?
Bother?
So,
and it's I mean, shouts out to cats that are getting nominated, but I think for the most part it is kind of still like that, right? Like it is. We're gonna get into this conversation in a minute, but even looking at, you know, the idea of hip hop being 50 years old this year, which, do y'all know how they came up with the date of hip hop's birthday?
I thought they were basing it off the time. Oh, go ahead, bro.
No, I mean, from my understanding, it's some party that goddamn, why am I Cedric? I'm forgetting. Yeah, Cool Herc. Through like August.
Literally
in August, yeah.
This shit, like it's. I don't know if it's true, but when I did research on this a bit ago, apparently this was supposed to be one of the first times where it was MCing, DJing, breaking, and I guess graph. All the elements were supposed to be live in this back to school jam or whatever.
That's 25 cents.
25 cents for the ladies, 50 cents for the fellas.
Yo, you want to know? I forgot who it is. I'm gonna figure it out. I'm gonna do my best to figure it out or whatever. But somebody was doing an interview and said that they had that original card.
Oh, yeah, I remember saying that, and it was like I can't think of who that was. I remember saying that. Yeah.
That would have been the flyer.
That's gonna go crazy, man.
But you know what I'm most bugged out about watching that?
What's that?
Even back in, put that up one more time, Kim.
I'm sorry.
Even back in 70, you can drop it now. Even back in 73, ladies still got in cheaper than fellas, bro.
I'm saying.
In 73.
Stop hating,
they still was crushing us. I'm just saying, it's all good. I'm just putting it out, baby. I ain't mad. I'm just saying, damn, the game don't never change, B. That's all I'm saying.
I'm looking at that's a long ass party, yo. Pause.
I was gonna say 9 p.m. 4 in the morning.
They was rocking out.
Damn.
They was rocking out. Man.
Going back to school.
For sure. God damn, that was a long party, yo.
I know. And that niggas was like, I don't know, I wasn't there, but I'm assuming that wasn't like the play the wall era. Like niggas was actually breakdancing and shit. Moving around.
The whole, you gotta push all the furniture to the side. Yeah,
man, you got get out, you spinning on your head. You know what I mean? You doing all that. You sweating, baby. It's the night. You know what I'm saying? It's a workout, yo. That's a whole workout.
It's a whole workout. But niggas doing Zumba.
Niggas
doing Zumba in the club, man.
How does it make like hip hop turning 50 and like people do it? Do y'all feel like it's not a like a national holiday or anything like that? Like you're not gonna get off for hip hop birthday, but like should people celebrate? Like, are you supposed to do extra hip hop shit on August 11th?
Yo,
celebrate hip hop.
I'm saying niggas know that.
No, yo, I'm gonna say this, yo. So I mean, I know we're gonna get into the actual Grammy conversation or whatever, right? But I like how everybody's coming together and putting things together because this is going to be the inaugural celebration of it.
It's a big deal.
So whatever we do going forward is going to kind of set the tone. So, you know, I seen at the Grammys, I don't know if we're going to talk about this or not or whatever, but like Dr. Dre got the Dr. Dre Award at the Grammys. It's an all-black Grammy. You know what I'm saying? You got this celebration that we doing. We brought everybody out. So I'm like, you know, I don't know what you do going forward, but I mean, I may do something just because, you know what I mean? Like, why not?
What do you do?
I don't know, man. I'm just gonna just play
throw a party from 9 to 4.
Just throw a party.
Throw a party from 9 to 4.
It ain't gonna be 25 cents, nigga.
25 cents.
It ain't gonna be 25 cents.
Be much more than 25 cents for ladies, 50 cents for fellas, indeed.
That's crazy.
Yo, but hold up, yo. I don't know if any of y'all know, like, are they doing anything where it's though like around that time having parties or something? Like or like a central location, like maybe I don't know, maybe they're doing something in the Bronx where they have like
I would assume
there's some smart people coming together with ideas. So let's ride.
I'm saying I would assume at Cedric and Cedar on August 11th, it's going to be like when big sporting events, people come from Europe and shit because they be fans. Like Sweden is going to be in the house. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, a lot of those cats over there who really like fuck with the roots of hip hop, but they ain't never seen America, nothing like that. Tour season's probably gonna be crazy this summer on that date in August. I would not be surprised.
It's gonna be interesting, man.
And the funny thing for me, I'm just sitting here like, yo, for me, I'm gonna keep doing what the fuck I've been doing every day for the past 4 years. Like that's my thing. Like, yo, it's like it's almost like them, you know. I give T flowers all the time, you know. So Valentine's Day ain't the only day that I give my woman flowers or do nice things for her. So to me, it's the same thing with hip hop, nigga. You should be living hip hop every single day of your life if it's part of your culture, you know. So niggas like, Kill, what you doing, nigga? Apartment 5B, same shit I've been doing since y'all know me. You know, I'm not gonna do nothing extra special this year that I haven't been doing for the past. I'm 48 for the past 38 years since I fell in love with hip hop. So, you know what I mean? Like, it's dope to do that stuff in the Bronx, but yo, do that shit every year. You know what I mean? Like, you ain't got to wait 50 years to celebrate hip hop's birthday or whatever like that. We ain't have, like you said, people from Sweden wasn't coming over for the 25th. And I mean, I get it. Now we're like stapling that. Like now
it's a big number. Yeah.
Right. People are getting behind it. But I'm like, nigga, what we did for the last 49 years? We ain't celebrated hip hop birthday before. Like,
exactly.
You know what I mean?
Weird.
Can I ask brothers a question on that topic?
Good.
Like,
no, we on the podcast.
Why you gotta fuck up my segue, dog?
Why you
It's the narrative, man. You know what I'm saying? It's the narrative, man. The whole little thing. All right, but man, you made me forget my shit, man. Oh yeah. So if are y'all hip hop 50 years, right? Are y'all proud of the progression of hip hop?
Ooh,
not necessarily. Nah.
Whoa.
Yeah.
I've seen hip hop kind of.
You say yeah?
Yeah. Just because it's global at this point. Even seeing the people that survived throughout the years and stuff like that, and how much it shapes the culture. I'm proud. I mean, if you talking about the current state of like the hip hop that people making now, probably not.
But from then to now, yeah, like from that fucking house party.
I'll say yeah. But what people are making,
right?
That's a whole different conversation.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So,
right. Yeah.
Like I'm still seeing LL up there, Dr. Dre, Jay-Z. You know what I mean? Like
it's a lot of familiar faces.
Yeah, like
when they go to celebrate.
And shit.
Throw that up one more time. Damn, man.
Yeah,
my niggas looking.
We'll get into we'll get into that as well. Wait, Kill, you said you disagree though. Why'd you say that?
I mean, my dissertation to graduate from Morgan was I wrote a paper on how, you know, in the 70s, hip hop was being praised as the thing that stopped violence in the neighborhood. It was like, yo, people ain't killing each other no more. We break dance and we're doing this. And in 97, when I graduated, it's like it was the total, you know, 180. Hip hop was being blamed. People, you know, shoot them up, gun clappers. We shooting, we killing. You know, when you look at and see by me working with teens, I see it much more of the way that music is influencing these kids. I said, I don't know if it was on this show or another show. When I was a shorty, I'm like, yo, I want to be a social worker. My pop like, why? I'm like, yo, Scott LaRock is social worker. Scott LaRock was on the radio one day talking about Black Poet. People don't know Black Poet was also beefing with BDP because Poe was from Queensbridge. He was in that group Screwball. And they were talking about on the radio. Scott LaRock was like, nigga, I got a college degree. You think I'm worried about Poet? Like, he was proud to say that. Like, he on the radio bragging, like, I got a bachelor's degree, nigga. You think I'm worried about this? And I'm telling my pop, I want to be a philosopher because, you know, at KRS. And when I first started working with kids in 2000, one of my kids told me he wanted to be a pimp. I was like, why? Or it was somewhere around 2000. And he was
how old was the kid? Like what age
the kid was it's elementary school. So he wasn't older than 4th or 5th grade.
Damn.
And he said he wanted to be a pimp. And I said, why? And he said, because 50 Cent's a pimp. Because 50 had that PIMP.
Yeah.
And at that moment right there, I was like, wow, like the change of hip hop that took me from saying, I want to be a philosopher. I want to be a social worker. I want to go to college to be like Scott LaRock. To now with kids saying he want to be a pimp. I got girls and 12-year-old girls saying, yo, Mr. Kill, I want to be a stripper. Fuck you talking about you want to be a stripper? Oh, well, I want to be a rapper and because Cardi B was a stripper first, I gotta be a stripper, then I gotta be a rapper.
Crazy.
I mean, the drug use, and it's not just hip hop. It's not just hip hop. You got more R&B dudes talking about doing lines and perks than maybe hip hop people do. But again,
what
I've
is
seen
R&B anymore? Yeah,
I've seen hip hop going from crack is whack to niggas. The rappers now is cracked out them goddamn selves and proud of it. Like, I pop 50 perks a day. I sip lean. I do this. I do that. We got these rappers out here. We came in the era of BDP and MC Shan. You got these dudes out here literally killing each other. Every week there's a rapper dying. Now they may not be no rapper that we know. It may be little so-and-so from Chicago or such over here. Every week there's a rapper being killed. After they kill them, they pissing on their grave. They shooting up your mama's house. It's so like Brock said, to see people that we grew up still doing it is dope. But to see like the progression, it's like, man, like I'm not with it, but I understand why C. Dolores Tucker was like, yo, run fucking whatchamacalls over these CDs. I was listening to Niggas for Life, which is one of my favorite albums the other day coming home, and it was like, wait a second, y'all raped the pastor's daughter, ran a train on her, raped her, killed her, put her in the trunk, and then fucking threw her in the water? Like, what the fuck?
That's crazy.
What I say, yo, like, I don't disagree with you about the progression as far as like the content of the music and shit like that. But at the end of the day, it's also a business that has exploded. So you got like, what do they say? Like 10,000 albums come out a day at this point.
It's a lot of music. Yeah.
So to that point about like, it's a rapper getting killed every day. Like some of these motherfuckers is not rappers.
They,
you know what I mean? Like, so
see, that's where it
kind of conflated when you're talking about like black culture and rap and shit. Like the people that actually take it seriously, like I think that's why I hit so hard and so close to home when like Takeoff died. Not that you messed with him or not, but he had an established career as a rapper. He wasn't like a Spotify rapper, not Spotify, SoundCloud rapper, or just like
a dude that just came around,
whatever. So it's like if you made it beyond this point as a young rapper, you should not, incur that type of violence and things like that. But a lot of these dudes, it's like, all right, okay, who is this guy?
I think the hard part, and I've said this before, is that I just think hip hop is at that time where it needs subgenres. There was a time when jazz was just jazz, and then it got into smooth jazz. There was a time when rock and roll. If you say rock and roll to my mother, she may say Chuck Berry. You say rock and roll to one of y'all may say Led Zeppelin. Somebody else says Bon Jovi. Somebody else says Bruce Springsteen
or something like that.
Which is why they have subgenres. And it's like, okay,
does it now?
Huh?
Like, does it now? Like with the drill?
Well, I mean, it kind of does. It kind of does, but I don't know if you can literally go to Spotify and put in mumble rap and then mumble rap.
Touche.
You know what I mean? Like, I think we made, the subgenres or whatever like that. But, back in, like I said, at Morgan, I'll take it always back to 92 to 96. If you said it was going to be a hip hop show, people were all going to go. We didn't even know who was going to be there because we knew a certain character was going to show up. It could be certain aesthetic to the party and shit. It was like Grand Poobah. It could be Helter Skelter. It could be KRS. You didn't have to know because you could just say it was a hip hop show in the at the Field House on Morgan's campus. You say that now, you don't know who the fuck showed up. You don't know if it's gonna be Lil Uzi. You don't know if it's gonna be Migos. You don't know if it's gonna be Stove God. You don't know what it is. You know what I mean? So, and like Brock, what you were saying is crazy because you had a lot of people. I'm not gonna front. I was one of the people like, yo, why is not Little Baby, not the baby? Who's the one who does that dance with the thing? He from Philly.
Lil Uzi Vert.
Lil Uzi, yeah.
Lil Uzi Vert. I'm not gonna front. I'm one of them bougie niggas who's like, nigga, why you up there? This 50 years of hip hop. This shit.
Hold up. I want to ask y'all because I saw him in the picture that you just posted, right?
Yeah.
And I was like, there you go, right next to Too Short, right?
Uh-huh.
So when I was doing my research about this performance or whatever, did he actually perform?
I don't think he was
he didn't
there.
Really perform. He just came out to that I Want to Rock, did his little dance, and
all right. So that's confusing as fuck. Like, I mean, that's confusing because like you got Kendrick there, you got Jay-Z there, you got like real reputable like
but that's it right there, Brock. That's what it is. Like what you're saying, real reputable. But the problem is that this is why we have to bridge the gap because There's some young person right now who's 25, like, yo, fuck you old heads. You know, we reputable too. Like, yo, little Uzi Vert, that nigga got bars. And for their 25-year-old mind, he may have bars. You know what I mean? So, like, that's the thing. Like, halfway through the presentation, I was like, why is Nelly up there singing Hot in Here? Like, why are we doing this? Like, that ain't hip hop to me. But then to somebody else, Nelly is the KRS-One for them. You know what I mean? So,
right. Yeah, my lady from St. Louis, and yeah, you gotta take it easy on that Nelly. Saying like Nelly like Jesus out there. You know?
Let's look at this. Is what
I'm just playing. You know?
No. But here's a key thing, and how I look at it separately. Because y'all, you know, I know Fam did it, Brock. I don't know if y'all did, but listening to Strictly Hip Hop, there was Strictly Hip Hop and there was Rap Attack, and we were total polar opposites of each other.
Gotcha.
You know what I mean? So when I'm thinking hip hop, in my head, it's always gonna go back to, would this play on Strictly Hip Hop? Would this play on Rap Attack? You know what I mean? Because the reason why Sam used to co-host with me on Strictly Hip Hop, and then on Saturday we'd go over there with Butterman and co-host on Rap Attack. And it was cool because it was never like what we had in the stash of Strictly Hip Hop. She was going to take the Rap Attack because Rap Attack wouldn't want no group home exclusive get played. Right. You know what I mean? So for me, that's how I've always kind of separated the two. Like one of my homeboys who was a DJ in Philly, I was like, yo, send a mix down. Maybe I'll put you on. This nigga played Keep the Head Ringers by Dr. Dre. I'm like, oh, no, nigga. Like, you won't play Keep Them Heads Ringing by Dr. Dre on Strictly Hip Hop. I'm like, nah, that would be Rap Attack. In my mind, Nelly is Rap Attack, not Strictly Hip Hop. You know what I mean? Like, Stretch and Bobbito versus Hot 97. Like, we that's that rap. This is hip hop. So I think, at least in my mind, that's like where the line in the sand is drawn. That is for me is always, would that have played on our show or their show?
It's the top 9 and 9 versus what was Cosmic Kev's? What was his show?
Cosmic Kev was
what was his show on Friday nights?
I grew up with Lady B, Street B. Cosmic Kev, I was already.
He was a couple years later. Radioactive with the yeah.
So let me ask both of y'all a question, because I know both of the K brothers. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna call y'all the K brothers at this point. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes I'm fuck up. I might say like Kill, whatever, right? But both of y'all worked at, like, you worked at 88.9, and you worked in Complex or whatever, right? So at some point in time, like, how do you view like the artists that were able to cross over? In the time they were able to cross over. Now it's like hip hop is a lot more mainstream. How was you viewing them then? You know what I'm saying? Like your LLs, your Run DMCs or whatever. Like, because I know at some point in time people was like, okay, this is just hip hop, but then you still have people that you respected, that you know that they could do hip hop.
It's a couple things, right? I think it's a couple like LL, for example. Like, I'm not a fan of Hey Lover, right? But I can, on one level, I can appreciate that he's still here at this time. At that time, being like, damn, I've been watching LL since I was a kid. He's growing up. He's able to get these smoothed out Johns that's able to play on the radio, whatever. That shit's cool. It's not for me, but it's cool. As long as it feels like it's authentic, or it's not like a total sellout. It don't sting as bad, I guess because I've always wanted anything I like to get as big as it can, as much money as it can on, but not, it's the balancing act, right? You want to let niggas get paid, but you don't want niggas to sell out to do it. And so
that's the thing about hip hop though, because like earlier on it was a thing of like, if somebody was making, I guess is what you're saying, like people making certain choices and decisions that you're like, that ain't you, that doesn't seem authentic, but at the same time, it's like you want the person that you fuck with to get bigger, right?
See, the weird part for me is like, I always say 92, my freshman year at Morgan State, Paris says, still I haven't seen one rapper living comfortably. You know what I mean? So in 92, Gangstar, one of the biggest hip hop groups in the world, was living in Branford Marcellus's basement. Right. His family's basement, like Branford Marcellus's wife. Yeah. And like these niggas drinking 40s and smoking blunts is living in their basement. When Midnight Marauders dropped, Q-Tip, he was in the Source and he had to make a decision. Either I'm gonna get this 3/4 Beamer or I'm gonna move out my mother's house. he chose the Beamer. So you got Q-Tip, Tribe Called Quest, Midnight Marauders, Award Tour, sleeping in a twin bed in his mom's crib.
At that time, goddamn.
Yeah, at that time, because hip hop really didn't start making money. It's if you would have done hip hop, if you would have done Cribs in 1994, nigga, you would have been at nigga's mom's house.
Everything would have looked like the Red Band episode.
You would have been in Branford Marcel's basement.
Yeah.
Cribs post 97. Now niggas got boom boom rooms and swimming pools and stripper poles, and so hip hop really went from being a very broke culture to a very rich culture overnight. When you really think about it. You know what I mean? We was joking last week how back in the day, a Jetta was the equivalent of a BMW in 1980.
Oh, yeah, most definitely.
A Pathfinder was the equivalent of a Range Rover. Every man's car was a hip hop car.
Shit, the ZX.
MPV's fat, nigga. You talking about?
What Kane say? When I'm cruising in my Volvo, cops harass me. This nigga said I'm cruising in a Volvo. You know, this is Big Daddy Kane, man. This is the biggest rapper at the time talking about I'm chilling in a Volvo, and we always like, oh, that nigga got a Volvo. Like, you know what I mean?
Rewind that back. He got a Volvo,
right? You know what I mean?
Yo, but oh my bad. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, I was just gonna say, like, I know for me. It's like Cal said, I won't even hold you, man. At that age, I was very much into my havoc. No matter how much loot I get, I'm staying in the projects forever. Jake's on the block, we out clever. You know what I mean? Like that's the thing.
Crazy.
We keeping it real.
Just so you know, that's fucking crazy. That's crazy.
No.
No, but we was thinking at the time, though. You got it.
I know. I'm just saying, in hindsight, that's crazy.
Right, that's crazy. But thinking about it now at 48. I understand the business better. That at the end of the day, a lot of these rappers, I can't blame for the moves that they had to make because you had a record label, which I equate to living with your parents. You can't do, I don't care if you 48 living with your parents. If your mom still say get in the house by 9 o'clock, nigga, you got to be in the house by 9 o'clock.
I see.
So that's also crazy.
Yo, it's crazy, but your mom
is real. It's real.
We need a drop for that, yo. We need a drop for that. Like that's crazy.
That's crazy.
That's crazy.
But that's crazy.
Right.
Okay.
But when you live with your moms, you have to follow her rules, no matter how crazy it may sound. So when you're on a label, you could be like, nah, nigga, I want to get Premier to do my album. And the label's like, look, nigga, your album ain't go gold last time. You're about to owe us $400 million, nigga. You getting in the studio with fucking Teddy Riley doing some New Jack Swing, and you've got nothing to think. You've got nothing to say. Then what would happen is we would hear it, and we'd be like, "Oh man, Brock sold out. He got Teddy Riley on his album," not understanding that the backstory is Brock ain't want nothing to do with Teddy Riley. Brock wanted Pete Rock and Premier, but the label told him, "Nah, you got to sell these records. Your last album ain't sell. You already owe us $250K. You in the hole." And so that's why now I understand, like, damn, we really can't. I was shitting on people where maybe I shouldn't have because it wasn't even their decision to do some of these moves, you know?
Cal, you ain't like doing it, bro?
Doing it, yeah. You know, it's one of the records because again,
tread lightly, bro. Tread lightly, bro.
What I'm saying is, I was
like that, yo. Why you acting like that? That's your favorite shit.
Hold on. No, this is the thing, though, because that record would play.
To you, but
and the album version. Shorty doing a lot of moaning. Like I can't. When I was young when that record came out. I can't be like I can't blast that shit. My grandfather walking down the hallway. Nah, you gotta play the record where it sounds like you fighting people again. Because what's this? You playing a porno? Like nah, I didn't want the beef. I didn't want the beef.
And then Remy, for me again is what will we play on Strictly Hip Hop? Will we get played on Rap Attack? We play I Shot You the remix on Strictly Hip Hop. Let Rap Attack play doing it and, you know, Hey Lover and all that stuff. Now, did I like doing it in the club? Hell yeah, I like doing it in the club. But, you know, again, that was like that's how it was very easy for me. Are we playing on Strictly Hip Hop? Then that shit is rap. And that's where we go back to KRS. What was it? Hip hop versus rap. And it was like rap is something you do, hip hop is something you live. Like there was a time that we looked at it like that. So it was like, yo, look at it. Rap Attack is the name of the show. Strictly Hip Hop is the name of the show.
Yo, you want to know what's ill about what you just said is the fact that like KRS wanted people like that outline like kind of rules and things like that. And we only 50 years in this genre, you know what I'm saying? But at the same time, like something you just said, like about your grandfather walking around and they not understanding what you listening to. Like, I think everybody got one of those experiences of like, what the fuck are you listening to? Like your parents at that time, like it's just so different than like the goddamn Temptations and shit. I don't know if it's happening these days because we all
yes.
Oh yes.
Yeah.
It just happened to me with my wife.
What you mean?
I'm in the car with my, I mess with chopped and screwed music. I said something about that in the chat.
Word.
And the dude was freestyling a little joint I sent you. And his opening line is, I done came down, I threw foes on the Uber. So I just kept saying that, right? I just kept saying it. And my wife was like, what the fuck? That's so stupid. What is that? So I'm breaking down like homie lyrics, you know what I'm saying? Like to her, like 84s is around, like, and she like,
think about how far your mama was or your daddy was.
Exactly.
Right? You know what I'm saying? Like I said, like when I was younger, like I remember the first album my mother let me buy myself was Into the 36 Chambers and shit.
Oh wow.
My sister used to buy all the other stuff for me and shit. And I had my own little money. Like, what do you want to get? I want the 36 Chambers. I put it in the car and shit. It's like kill a nigga. Fuck everybody.
Yeah.
What's wrong?
The Mystery of Chess Boxing was my shit on that.
God, yo. That shit was the whole album would be like this.
But back in our day, bro, that was the difference. Like, there was one stereo in the house. You know, niggas didn't have AirPods and Beats by Dre. So these kids, half the time, people don't know what the fuck they kids are listening to. Your kids will be listening to Kill Everybody.
It's different now.
And they in their own world.
I'm from the era where you had the Discman and you was on the bus and that shit jumped and your shit. All right. So you got the ESP. You got the electronic skip protection and you was good. You know what I mean?
Like I said, my sister, I ain't gonna say like I said, my sister 10 years older than me. So I'm riding around listening to old school rap niggas and shit like that.
Right.
So I can understand like what it used to be or whatever. But like when I got my hands on the wheel, it was like, yeah, niggas talking about like
everybody
stuff. You know what I mean?
Right.
But
yo, just out of curiosity though, Kill, did you ever listen to that type of music?
What's
like the shoot 'em up, bang bang?
Oh yeah, I mean, we went through the whole, boot camp. You know what I mean? Wu-Tang. I mean, not that they was crazy rah, but
the Mobb Deep. I don't mean that. Yeah.
I mean, to me, Mobb Deep, that's what niggas was listening to before we went to parties in college to get us hyped up, and you know what I mean? Nigga get clapped. You know what I mean? So it's just through those phases. But now I also understand how a parent, if I was my mom and she heard me listening to Niggas for Life, and it's like, yo, they just raped somebody, like,
oh god,
like what the hell? But parents in those days were more so like, yo, take that shit, throw it out the window.
Yeah, get it out.
Because of that, now I'm more so like with Naomi, if she's listening to Meg Thee Stallion, I'm like, oh, she was listening to Doja Cat the other day, and there was some wild shit, and I was like, yo, what do you think about this? Like, this bitch is like, don't play with my emotions, play with my pussy. I'm like, but I'm serious. Like, I thought it was gonna be like, oh, don't take that off.
You gotta
have
like, the conversation.
What does that make you think? Like, you know what I mean? Like, you rather, and it's crazy because me and Naomi, I'm very open because I work with kids. So I'm talking about sex with kids is absolutely nothing for me at this point. So I'm like, do you think that's planting the seed in your mind? Like, don't play with my emotions, play with my pussy. Like, I just want to know. And she be like, well, nah, not really. It's just entertainment. I'm like, all right, well, just be mindful. You know what I mean? Because you sitting here, because she had her AirPods in while I was driving. She was all into it. And I was like, yo, put on the Bluetooth, what you listening to, because I see you really animated right now.
Let me hear it.
And I was like, oh, you animated about nigga playing with your pussy, huh? Okay, cool. Okay, that's really,
hey, yo,
that's
you're a different breed, son. You're different.
That's funny.
That's a reality check.
I'm like, that's okay, well, that's where we at. That's where we at. Okay.
Fam said something. Fam said something like that last night. He was talking about he took Lil Fam out. And you having conversations. He was talking about hygiene and making sure the kid know you got to wash up under your nuts and all that shit. But you as a parent these days, you really have to sit down and have those conversations, because if you don't, and then your child comes in influenced by the music and some shit happens, then you're gonna feel weird because you didn't have the conversation about, oh, you want to have the man play with the pussy or whatever.
And they way too far down the rabbit hole at that point. And shit.
Exactly.
You won't catch them, you know, it's just way too far down the rabbit hole. I wanted to say, like, this is just a small tidbit or whatever, like this, just like an actual fact on Survival of the Illest and shit. My nigga ain't even curse on that bitch, yo. I just want to say that, yo. You know what I'm saying? Like,
I mean, it's I gotta go
back. I curse, yo, but that verse is so hard and so sinister. Like, I remember listening to that shit. I was like, what the fuck? This nigga did not say a curse word, but it just sounds so evil.
Yo, and here's the wild part, bro.
It's like an evil love letter, yo. Like,
people don't realize this. G-Rap's whole first solo album, not one curse word.
I love it. I love
not one. Because I always look at hip hop. There's pre and post Straight Outta Compton, two different worlds. Because pre Straight Outta Compton, you may hear Kane go, you know, when the pen hits the paper, oh shit, you'd hear like one curse word. One curse word was like the limit. After Straight Outta Compton, nigga, G-Rap's second album got over 500 curse words. You know what I mean? So it literally went from, I mean, imagine that. Could you imagine Eddie Murphy going from not one curse word and being funny as hell? Because nobody even realizes G-Rap first album don't have no curse words on it. You just like it's G-Rap. It gotta have curse words on it. And I tell them, no, go back and listen. They're like, oh shit, man, it was not one curse word. So it's hard to go from Bill Cosby to Eddie Murphy overnight. You know what I mean? Because it wasn't like G-Rap was corny without cursing. And that's where I'm always like, niggas like, oh, yo, you gotta curse. If you ain't cursing, you corny. I'm like, look at G-Rap first album, Kane first album, Rakim. Rakim said, I'm gonna tear shit up. That was the only curse word on Paid Him For. You know what I mean?
Ain't no cool niggas that do that now, though.
No,
yo, but that's crazy because even in that time, they used to give like Will Smith and certain people flack for not cursing.
Not cursing,
and those people
existed at the same time. But it was the perception. When you look at Will, it was always, you know, girls ain't nothing but trouble. Parents just don't understand. You know,
it was kind of corny.
It wasn't just the rhymes. It was the whole fixture. Whereas G-Rap,
it was yo, like I ain't gonna let you do that to my man Will and shit. You know what I'm saying?
Like, you can't stop me. That's my opinion. I think it was corny, dog. Like,
what was corny?
I grew up with Will Smith, and I thought parents just don't understand. I've never listened to that song a day in my life. I've never.
You talking about that one song? You ain't talking about.
Parents just don't understand. Wild Wild West. Men in Black, nigga, all that shit is corny, nigga. That shit is trash. That's the only song you can say.
Brand new funk.
We got separate. We got separate. We got to look at DJ Jazzy Jeff for Fresh Prince.
He's gone.
Get this nigga out of here.
Well, actually, that's actually a funny segue back because Will was supposed to perform. There was something going on with Will. He was supposed to be a part of that, but oddly enough,
that nigga got PTSD on award shows.
Yeah, I would. If I was Will, I wouldn't even want to show up.
Stay away from award shows.
They banned him from everything.
But Jazzy Jeff performed. Jazzy Jeff did a Rock the Bell.
Well, yeah, I mean he's a DJ, but you know what I mean.
But
can't ban the snowman.
It's one thing you mentioned, Kill. You mentioned like it was offhand, but you said there's pre Straight Outta Compton and post Straight Outta Compton.
Yeah, there's always these lines that are drawn in hip hop. Like if we really go back, and this is why on Apartment 5B I do a monthly show highlighting the years, so you can really see where things start changing and things start shifting. And this this style kind of started getting played out in '91, and you know things like that. So yeah, there's pre and post Straight Outta Compton, because before that, record labels didn't know what to do with our music. They just said go in there and record whatever. Post Straight Outta Compton, it was like, yo, people really like people cursing. These niggas just sold 2 million records. Curse all you want. You know what I mean? We went from the parental advisory sticker. That was a death blow to your career prior to Straight Outta Compton. If you got that sticker in 1985 or 86, dog, you might as well throw your career away. Post 89, that shit was off to the races because now kids was like, oh, if I see that sticker, I ain't supposed to listen, I'm going to buy it. So the industry now started to push people in a certain way. When Straight Outta Compton came out, I was like, I don't even know what Compton is. I don't even what is that? Yeah. After Straight Outta Compton, yo, every day on Rap City was a new nigga from Compton. CPO, Compton's Most Wanted. Niggas, like, they just...
Yeah, they just went crazy with Luke, basically. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You know, like...
But I was in going over the tribute. It's funny we mentioned this because I was trying to figure because there's holes in the presentation. Like if you look at the Cali people that's on there, they had Ice-T doing New Jack Hustler, which is not like a
LA song.
That's not an LA song.
Would have been more of an LA song for Ice to do.
They had Too Short.
Ice-T from New Jersey though, yo.
He is from the East Coast. They had Too Short to Blow the Whistle, and I think that's it. They didn't have like there was no representation of Death Row. There was no Snoop, and I know Questlove got on Twitter and said he said if you got questions, either they said no, they were busy, or they never got back to us when we tried to book them. Apparently, whatever they was trying to do was like a half hour, and it got cut back to whatever 15 minutes or whatever the actual performance is. But it's crazy to see that, and then it's also crazy to not see like a Kendrick, a Cole, or any of these like newer cats, but see like Glorilla was the main representation of, like, I guess the last couple of years of hip hop. It was Glorilla and Lil Baby. That was it.
Crazy.
Well, I mean,
it's weird. That's not weird. Like Macklemore won a Grammy. They didn't even want to pull Macklemore out to do what was the pawn shop. What was the name of the damn song that he had? I don't know. He beat Kendrick. That's all I know. The album beat Kendrick album. They couldn't get him out.
I heard from him since, man.
He ain't come out and do shit since.
I ain't never listened to that.
I mean, I think the hard part is, bro, like Quest has seen, I've read the little piece that y'all sent over, and it seemed like I get it. Some people still boycott the Grammys, you know. So for some people, they may have been like, nah, fuck the Grammys. I ain't performing for them. They'll never show us love any other time. I'm not gonna, you know, run and go jump to them now that they want to show us love. So, you know, some people may have been that way, you know. And again, for me, it's just like I would have needed like some young boy to help me, because I'm like, I wouldn't have brought out none of them people. I wouldn't have brought out no Glorillas, nobody with the little in front of their name, no babies, no nobody. No
Glorilla was playing with the band. Something was a little off with her performance. I don't know if it was because she was playing with a live band or not, but it was the time it was like a half a second off to me anyway. At one point I was watching it. But what you gonna say, bro?
Oh no, I ain't got nothing.
Well, I just want to say, like, oftentimes with these type conversations, like if the youth gets involved, like Kill said earlier, they look at us and call us old niggas. And just for context, and y'all may or may not disagree, even in, like, for me, the best era of hip hop was the 90s. To me, that's the era that I really knew what the hell was going on. But even then, I feel like it was what you could consider like mumble rap or whackness that still existed. What I'm saying by that is, like, it's not like that golden era of music or the older era of music is all good.
Of course.
Like the era now isn't all good. You know what I'm saying? Because I was a Daz Effects fan. I don't know what the fuck they was talking about. You know what I'm saying? Like, to this day, but I bumped it. So how can I really judge the young boy that's listening to Lil Uzi Vert? I don't even know a lyric. I was trying to pull one, but I don't know one. That, you know what I'm saying? So it's just like, I try not to get too hard on that, like, judgmental tip as far as like what they're listening to. Now, I do agree with Kill as far as like how the music impacts the kids, because you gotta think, nobody listening to classical music to go do a drive-by. You know what I'm saying? So like the music impacts you, and you gonna turn up. You want to hear something that's gonna put you in that mood to go do your stuff. So, you know, I just think that needs to be said.
I agree with you. Nobody's listening to classical music to do a drop-by. I just wanted to make that a blanket statement before I, you know, say whatever, right? But I remember talking to my mother's, you know, friend or whatever, and my mother's, you know, like 70-something. He's 70-something or whatever, and we sitting down there listening to like old R&B or whatever, and I'm like, yo, what was it like being in the club when y'all listened to like the Delphonics and the Temptations and shit? He was like, niggas was still tripping. And acting crazy to this music.
They were just having a fight to the Delphonics.
In LA, they go on drive-bys to funk music. They don't even fuck with hip hop like that until like a certain point. You know what I'm saying? So like, I mean, I'm not gonna blame hip hop on. Yeah. It's just like what make you feel groovy and make you feel good to drive by James Brown. You know what I'm saying? So I'm not gonna put that all on hip hop, but of course it's going to make you a little bit more amped and shit like that. Maybe it makes some people that don't do stuff like that normally a little bit more amped to do it. But he was like, yeah, niggas was still tripping. You know what I mean? In the 70s.
That's a fact. I'm not putting it on hip hop, just to be clear. But if you look at them white boys, them videos of them on YouTube now, the white boys with the punk music, and they literally just in a room spinning around with their fists out, knocking each other the fuck out. You know what I'm saying?
Yes,
they're not doing that to Bach or Mozart or you know what I'm saying? And whatever the genre is gonna fit the move, basically. You know what I'm saying? So
I mean, that's the point. In a live performance, Right.
I think people do shit. And I think it's two ways to look at it because Rem, what you're saying, I mean, for me, I feel like we always was judgmental. When MC Hammer was out, we was like, that shit is whack. That's being judgmental. When Young MC was out, we was like, yo, that shit is whack. Like we've always been judgmental. You know what I mean? And so for me, it's just like if something is whack, it's whack. If Kendrick drops something that's whack, I'm gonna be like, that shit whack. Like you know what I mean? So it's like we've always been judgmental. And I think too, like you said, Brock, like Chris Rock said, like the hood wasn't bad before hip hop came around. Like it wasn't. The problem is that hip hop now has made it worse. You know what I mean? Like, guess what? They was like, we was listening to Lil' Kim in the car, and Naomi was like, "Yo, how are y'all mad at me about Doja Cat and all of this and Lil' Kim?" And I said, "Here's the difference. Lil' Kim at least spoke in some type of code. It took me a minute when she was like, I'm swallowing babies. I didn't just pick up right away." Nowadays,
I can't let you get away with that, son.
Come all day. Y'all have.
I used to be scared of the dick. Now I throw nuts to this.
Stop that, yo. Don't say it online, yo. Don't say it online.
No, but I feel what you're saying.
People clip shit, yo. People clip shit, yo.
There's definitely no. I don't know if
you can't believe your brand.
That's fact. Yeah, don't give them no food out there. Don't give them no food because they will eat. I don't know if it's a lack of creativity or what, but there's no subtlety. And
like
it's literally
like for instance, Brock, you talking about the 70s. You think Teddy Pendergrass wasn't talking about getting some ass? He was. He just didn't come out and say, "Give me the fucking ass, bitch. I'm gonna fuck you right now."
He said, "Turn off the light."
Right. That's the difference. Like,
you got what I need.
Right. We're not. I mean, we aren't gonna sit here and act like Lil' Kim and Meg Thee Stallion are the same. Like Meg Thee Stallion is Lil' Kim on crack times 100. You know what I mean?
Hold up. The only thing I'm gonna say about that, like, yes, he was saying it or whatever, but I oftentimes watch like old performances and shit. Like that's my thing on YouTube and shit. Teddy was scandalous, like you know what I'm saying? Like that nigga was up there with the gold chains. They throwing underwear. He cutting the whole lights off in the arena and shit. That nigga was scandalous, yo. Right.
But again,
a lot of niggas' grandmothers in Philly and shit.
And that's the thing. It just turned up. Here's the thing: the hood always been bad, but guess what? The hood right now is worse than ever.
Yeah, so
it's like that's the thing. It's like and again, I'm in the hoods, the Southeast every single day. 22 years ago. The shit that
God bless you, man. God bless you.
Now is crazy, and it's like it's gotten worse. So I mean, everything. Back in the day, a gang war was what? A knife, some brass knuckles. You bring that shit to a fight nowadays, niggas looking at you like, nigga, how old are you? 58?
Yeah.
Like if you ain't coming with a gun nowadays, bro, you ain't coming to no fight. Back in the 70s, like one nigga had a gun in all of Chicago and the whole South.
Don't say all.
And a nigga had a revolver too.
Right. Exactly.
It's like England. England, all they got is not just one. The leader of the gang is the one nigga with a gun.
Right.
Yeah. You know what I mean? Niggas should listen to classical music. They'll be more focused on their drive-bys. You know what I mean? Just a thought. This nigga. Just a thought.
You stuck on that. You stuck on that classical music shit.
Good facts. Wait, Kill. No, I wanted to shout you out because I know your work. You talk about the youth center. Your work was recently highlighted on TV, right? Like they had the cameras out and everything. It was what, the unveiling of the new studio.
Yeah, Prince's foundation. Before he passed away, his ex-wife Manuela, who's now married to Eric Benet, took it over, and they donated So now I have a whole studio, a podcast studio, a whole media lab for my kids. So, it's going to be able to me, this is like, this is like when you one player away from winning a championship. And you pray for that player because I don't have nothing to compete with the streets. Like, yo, come in here, don't hang out. Come in here and learn some math. Like, nigga, I don't know how to do math in the first goddamn place. Whereas now it could be like, yo, I can't hang out with y'all, man. I got to record a podcast, and prayerfully, maybe their friends will be like, "What's your podcast about?" Yo, I want to be part of it. So, prayerfully, it'll be a game changer out here.
No, it will, man. Yo, that's shit, man. Yo, like you, man. I ain't gonna lie to you, man. That's the greatest news I heard all day, nigga.
When I saw it on Twitter the other day, I was like, "Oh shit, the cameras is really out." It was really on the news. I didn't see the whole thing, but I saw the clips on Twitter, and that was real. That's real, and that's always a thing, right? That's why it's dope that again kids was able to go into a place like a Cedric and Cedar and be like, hey, we gonna go to the rec room and not be outside going crazy, because people need some type of alternative to what's going on outside.
And even the thing,
that was smooth what you did, yo. That was smooth what you did, yo. I like that, yo. You hit the button real quick. It's like people need this. Anyway, go ahead. That was smooth, yo. I like that segue. Go ahead.
What you gonna say, Kim?
Nah, but it's just dope because like even '95, I heard the Beat Nuts album, and I was like, yo, when I come back to Morgan, I don't give a fuck what I gotta do. I'm giving me an SP1200. I don't care what kind of credit card scams. We was running so many scams and doing so much shit to try to get equipment and everything like that. So it's just dope that the kids don't gotta do none of that. Like all of that shit is here for y'all already. The studio time is free. The podcast time is free. You want to make beats, it's free. You know what I mean? And I just know if I would have had that growing up, nigga, I would have had all A's. If you tell me, yo, to get free studio time, you need all A's, nigga, I'd be studying like that's why I used to get free haircuts, because I was thinking like, damn, what would have made me like come to a teen center? Free haircuts? Oh, hell yeah, I'll get good grades. You just need to see I went to school this week. Here, all my teachers signed it. You know what I mean? So I think for a lot of our kids is just trying to figure out what would have helped us. And that's all I do. What would have helped me? If there would have been like a Fame type performing arts hip hop school in Philly, you talk about all A's, I would have been. And they said you gotta have all A's to get in here, and there's free studios and all. Nigga, I would have been the most studying. I would have been the most studious person in Philly.
All is math, yeah. Brock, you muted.
You muted, bro.
Am I muted still?
No, you
back.
I mean that's the ill shit too, yo. Like, the way they shut down a lot of community centers and like parks and things like that. Like, you don't even see kids outside and community centers anymore and shit, because it probably doesn't translate to what they actually want to do.
Yeah. So I mean, all the music programs have been cut. Like, my mom was a music teacher for 35 years in Philly, and she retired like the year before they cut all the music programs. So now these kids, I mean, when you think about the roots and everything that they do, the bulk of their musicians are from Philly. So most of these people, Adam Blackstone is from right over the bridge in Jersey. A lot of the people who are the music directors of all these award shows and different for tours are musicians from the Philadelphia area that my mom's and her friends taught. And now we're not going to have that going into the future because these kids don't have that outlet to learn how to play an instrument or to learn how to do any of that stuff. And that's like the real sad part of it. Especially in DC. DC and Philly are very similar as far as musicianship with their go-go down here and what we do in Philly. And it's like how are these kids in DC gonna learn how to play go-go if there's no music teachers no more?
Yo, do y'all and this is for the center or you personally, like now in the current era of hip hop, who do you tell the kids to listen to that's actually popular? Like where do you send them?
This is what I do. They get in my car. I say, play me something, and I'm going to play you something. Same thing I do with Naomi, right? I'll play them Rewind by Nas, right? And they'll be like, yo, that don't make no sense. Outside, right? I'll be like, say the shit backwards. They be like, we right outside, like, oh, shit, that nigga telling me to play backwards. And then I just be like, now, can your favorite rapper do that? And they be like, you know what I mean? So I'm not shitting on they rappers. I'm letting you make that decision for yourself. You could say Little Uzi Vert could tell a whole story back, or could tell a story of a gun or something like that, but they know he can't. So then it's like it like sparks a little bit of interest in them. Like, well, tell me more about this nigga Nas, Mr. Kill. Like, and it's like, yo, let me play you. I gave you power. And it's like, oh shit, he talking like he a gun and da da da. Again, can your favorite rapper do that? Nah, you know what I mean. So I'm just trying to help.
Never got you?
Huh?
Have they ever played anything that you was like, all right, I rock with that?
Not really, because everything they play me all sound the fucking same. And it's funny because they'll play me stuff and I'll be like, yo, I like this first song. They be like, no, that's not the same person. I'm like, word? Like, but for them, it don't sound the same. For me, it's like the same beat, the same tone, the same everything. I just saw this thing about Humpty Hump. I'll send it to you. And he was breaking down how rappers were using their voice. He was like, you know, me and Slick Rick talk with the nasal. We rap with the nasal.
I saw this. Yeah.
The back of his voice, you know, raps like this. I feel like these rappers nowadays all rap the same because I don't believe a lot of these people really love hip hop. They see what it can do.
Get the bag. Yeah, we try to get the bag.
So when I got when I was 10 years old and got my first 2 turntables and a mixer, I just wanted to be the dopest DJ in my neighborhood. That was my goal. I wasn't sitting here like, oh, I'm gonna charge $100 per party, and if I do 4 parties a month, then I can make. It had nothing to do with money. Whereas a lot of
apples and oranges though. I didn't mean to cut you off. No. Is that a fair comparison? Because even you yourself admitted hip hop ain't make no money back then. So you would have never thought about a bag.
Right. But I mean, as far as not hip hop making money, but I could have been thinking about throwing house parties. Like, how much could I charge for my service?
25 cents, apparently.
He wasn't around at that time, yo. Yeah. Yo, you acting like he was around at that time.
I don't think you get the Maybach.
Yeah, I was born in 74, so I wasn't ready to be at the party.
I'm about to pull up to the party in the Tampa, yo. You know what I'm saying?
25 cents.
But real talk, I ask you because I do the same thing with my classes, or my kids that I train. You know, but I don't do it intentionally like you. It's not like you play one, I play one. I'm just curious. So I'm like, what y'all listening to, man? Put on the music that we going, you know, when we in the gym, man. I'm not gonna lie. Sometimes I catch gems, man, and it's not like this nigga got lyrics. It's just a cool song. I'm like, I rock with that joint. Yeah, it's a groove. I rock with that, you know. I ain't never heard a lyrical nigga. Never.
And I think the hip hop nowadays is similar to that. Like, I feel like my man Mills was like, Kill, for 8th grader who's 6'5" coming to your teen center, what you gonna do? You gonna say you play ball? This dude could be like, nah, I don't play ball. I just sing on the choir. And you know what the whole hood is gonna do? You know what his family's gonna do? Nah, nigga, you gonna play ball.
You playing ball.
You gonna get us out the hood. And to me, that's at least 40% of the NBA right now. Is a whole bunch of dudes who don't love playing ball. They love what it can do for them. They love that it gets me cars and women and hope. Like Jay said, money, cash, hoes. Yeah. So you don't have people who really want to work on their game because they don't love the game in the first place. They're just doing the bare minimum just to be able to get what they want to get. Most of these young boys, they goals ain't to win no championships. They don't got no. If the league had just 30% of Kobe's Mamba mentality, we'd see a whole different product out here on the floor. And it's the same with hip hop. I feel like these boys don't really love the culture. And here's the sad part. I don't know if they can love the culture because they didn't grow up with the culture.
I think that's a big part of it, yeah.
If hip hop didn't save your life, you can't love it as much as I do.
Right.
So when I had Chuck D on the show and I could tell Chuck D, yo, your music saved my life. I did not sell drugs because of Chuck D and Public Enemy. And I was like, how could I sell drugs and then come back and listen to Public Enemy? Right. These new kids, I don't know if hip hop saved their life. They just like rap. They just like rap music.
Well, but remember, it's different now. Like we were saying earlier, just like the white kids had punk rock and heavy metal. It went from this was the music of our culture to, like I said earlier, they didn't have a lot of that West Coast representation. When the West Coast started popping in the mid 90s, it was because the white kids popped onto it, and it went from I'm gonna listen to Metallica to piss off my parents to I'm gonna listen to Tupac, I'm gonna listen to Snoop, and at a certain point it went from this anti-establishment, this creative different shit that nobody understands to this hip hop is like a couple years back they finally said hip hop is the dominant culture. Like if I used to work at Complex, every video that drops, every sneaker shopping episode, what boom, like every soundtrack is the 808 track, like that. It's just the sound of the day, so it's not kids discovering hip hop. That's something new and different. This is the music that people play on the radio, just like it used to be rock music when we was growing up. It's just how times change.
That's the thing I was gonna say is like all black music is counterculture at some point. You know what I'm saying? And it becomes, monetized in a certain way, and it gets away from us.
Yeah, even back to slavery, singing in the fields. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, I'm talking about blues. I'm talking blues, rock and roll, whatever you want to name. You know what I'm saying? Like when it starts to get monetized. I mean, I don't know if funk. Yeah, it's probably white people dominating funk. Anyway, but
I'm gonna make some money off all the records.
But I mean, it's just the same like Blue Eye Soul and shading of our culture, and then at some point in time, the people that are making music right now are not doing it with the same impulses that we had. You know what I'm saying? Like this is the counterculture that I can connect with, still be rebellious to my family and what I see outside, versus I can make some money.
Right. I mean, think about it. Think about what Vic said. Either you slinging white rock or you got a wicked jump shot. Vic said that in '94. Now we can add be a rapper.
or
you see what I mean? How it changes? In 1994, the only way out the hood was to sell crack or be a basketball player. That's no longer true anymore. You can now be a rapper because now rappers are making that kind of money. You know what I mean? So when you see that, you're going to get people who want to be a part of that, even though they don't love it like that. Like I never forget when Kemba Walker did with UConn, he played March Madness and they had to win all the games to get into the big tournament. And then he won the whole tournament that year. And they talked to his moms and they was like, yo, all these games, he had to play 5 games to 6 nights. She was like, yo, that boy used to be outside from 8 a.m. to 9 p.m. every night playing basketball, playing 2-hour games every day. Ain't nothing for him. That's the love. Can a player right now really be like, yo, you play from sun up to sundown, like all day long? Maybe some can, but I'm sure some don't. Some just go do their minimum. I got to go practice. I practice. All right, let me go get with my girl. Let me go get with my home. I mean, because the love isn't there. That passion isn't there. Like I just saw
a clip of Russell Westbrook and LeBron. Like LeBron was hyping the team up. Like, yo, we got to go get this win. It's serious out here. And Russell was like, nah, we just need to have fun. Basically, like, yo, just make sure y'all having fun. And I'm like, I mean, that's cool, but get back to what LeBron was saying.
Yeah, that's two totally different sides of the coin. Yeah.
So let me ask you a question on the lines of that. Like, as far as it goes with the Grammys, whatever, right? Are you able to appreciate that?
Appreciate what?
Like the way we talking about hip hop. Are we able to the way we're talking about hip hop right now, right? In a way like how it's went through its phases and people are not doing it for the love, things like that. When you see people in a Grammy celebration celebrating hip hop and they selected certain people, and of course Questlove is curating it. Are you able to sit back and look at it and have some appreciation for it? Is it still like or are you waiting for some particular entity to celebrate hip hop?
I mean, I loved it. I thought the performance was crazy. I mean, brought back memories. It was dope to see rappers still doing their thing. It sometimes hurts a little because I see Run and D and they barely look like they get through their words. You know what I mean? So
never did that for me. I ain't gonna lie to you. Like when I saw Salt up there, I was like, ugh.
Yeah.
Right.
They got something in the slow cooker right now and shit.
Right. Like even, and I know we're gonna talk later with Shooting the 5, but like people who've aged gracefully, you could have told me Rakim wasn't at least 68. That nigga only 55. Rakim was a day below 65. Like, and I'm like, yo, that nigga's only 55. Like, nah. Like, but again, we also gotta realize, yo, he only 55. But these rappers have probably lived hard lives. Like,
how the fuck is Jay-Z only like 3 years younger than him?
You got all that money?
I'm just saying. Jay-Z blew up late. Okay, but go ahead.
No. Well, that's the thing. They started around the same time. It's just that it took Jay.
Yeah, and keep in mind, like Rakim, I think They said I could send you this clip, man. They got Rakim doing my melody when he was like 13, 14. He wrote that when he was like a little kid. So again, for me, that's never the excuse when my kids say stuff like, well, Mr. Kill, give him a break. He only 15. Nigga, you're special ed. Rakim was 15. Like, the rappers I grew up listening to were kids. So I can't cut y'all no slack like, oh, he only 17. Special Ed made I Got It Made when he was 15.
One of the illest
and that thing
records
still back
ever.
So I can't cut y'all no slack.
I just seen him do a performance on his own and shit. He did his own performance. I Got It Made for the joint or whatever.
Yeah.
Oh shit, Special Ed still got hair. He look clean. You know what I'm
saying? His hairline receding a bit, but he still got it. It's still there.
Yo, sidebar, I Got It Made to Think About It, which was a better.
Oh, I Got It Made for me.
I love I Got It Made.
Yo, where's Special Ed from, yo?
Always the hardball, man.
Where's Special Ed from? I never.
Think About It was my shit, man.
Yeah, because I mean, that's the time where like rappers didn't had to stamp where they was from so much and shit. They just came out.
He said Alligator.
Special Ed always talking about Brooklyn. He had a joint on the first album called The Bush.
You know, he always talked about Brooklyn. He's the only nigga I ever heard talk about alligator souffle, though.
I wonder why. Sucker MCs try to shoot me, and they know they was
alligator souffle.
That shit was ill. About it, but you know the only reason I didn't really rock with it because it used the same sample as Microphone Fiend, and Microphone Fiend was just so much harder than average white boys.
Microphone Fiend hard as fuck.
But now you got it made.
Is dope, man. Yeah, that I Got It Made was just cold.
Think about it was dope too. That nigga was a hovercraft. That nigga was in the G.I. Joe hovercraft out there, man.
Oh shit! The hovercraft was crazy.
That nigga was in a G.I. Joe hovercraft in '89.
Yeah. No, but again, think about that. How the creativity of then. Now, if you see a video these days, it ain't gonna be that. It's gonna look like a movie. People with the suits on walking through a bank or whatever, or they just gonna be in the club throwing money. Like it's not gonna be some type of. Let me put the whole like
package together. Like it's even
not like that these days.
Yeah.
Yo, hopefully they make like just fucking its own special. Like somebody gets together and make their own special. Maybe LL with the Rock the Bell shit, maybe Puffy. Somebody make just a hip hop special. We can see all the ill shit.
Well, I was because you had
dope, and they fucked it up because they were supposed to be doing another Yo MTV Raps. I would love a Yo MTV Rap where you're talking to. We could talk to Pete Rock, you know, and reminisce. Really, basically, go look at some of the old videos. Like, yo, Pete, man, this is crazy. Like, what's woo 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 woo, or what's this?
That'd be a dope show.
Rock and find out what these rappers are doing now. You know what I mean? Like, Chubb Rock is like a relationship coach.
I mean, we got up until August. We got up until August. You know what I'm saying?
And again, anybody out there watching, I challenge y'all: do this shit every day. Like,
exactly.
I've never been the person who's like, oh, I can't, I gotta wait till New Year's to make a resolution. Nigga, if you woke up and you got air breath in your lungs, change. You know what I mean? People be like, all right, I'm gonna start my diet next Monday. No, nigga, start tomorrow.
Today.
Right now. Like, you don't gotta wait till August to do no fly shit. Start that shit right now. You know what I mean? And
I just heard Eddie Murphy say that. Go ahead, Joe. I ain't even cut you off. He was saying 75 summers. You got 75 summers, 78 average lifespan, right? And when you look at it from that perspective, you ain't got time to be talking about tomorrow, next week.
Right.
It ain't a lot of time. You know what I'm saying? Execute, bro. Make something happen. You know?
Yeah.
Shout out to Eddie Murphy, man. We want you on the show, man.
Shout out to Eddie Murphy.
Ed says, you know what, Rim? Ed said something dope, and he was saying just the power of believing in yourself. Because he was like, you know, not taking no for an answer. Because he was like, yo, you be watching TV and you be like, Attack of the Killer Tomato.
I saw that.
It's like, what the fuck? It's like, yo, that was somebody who just kept believing in themselves. You got these Sharknadoes. You got 800 Sharknado movies. Like, think about that. You pitch to somebody, yo, we want a tornado where sharks be coming out of that shit. Yeah. You know, and they just kept pitching and you just keep doing it. So it's like, yo,
if we snakes on the plane and all this
what we doing with Where's Buffy right now? This is celebrating hip hop and life every week, every time that we on here. You know what I mean? So it's like, that's why I always tell people, man, I want to see those hip hop podcasts as possible. You know what I mean?
Shout out to Ill Fam. I don't know what the hell you doing this shit, man. But
yeah, man. But shout out to you.
Him to win and shoot. I mean, speaking of doing amazing things with podcasts, and I think it's that time for shooting 5 #SC5. If you in the chat, please, put it up on the Twitters, let the people know what we're doing over here. This week's shooting the 5, we was talking about hip hop getting old and 50 years of hip hop. And we talked a little bit about in the conversation, but I wanted to get into 5 people who are aging gracefully. It doesn't have to be hip hop. It could be whoever you want it to be. Shit. But I mean, I think the thing is because I picked a couple people that wasn't hip hop, but I think it is dope to look at people who are in hip hop who are able to, because it seemed like realistically, with so many more rappers, the list of rappers who pass for whatever reason every year, it's you won't know half the names on the list, but it's always increasing. So it's always cool. Again, looking at this photo and seeing all the history. It's Flavor Flav, but I mean Flavor Flav's still up on the stage doing shit. So who want to go first?
Black don't crack, man.
Who want to go first?
Man, I go, man. I just, set it off and shit. And I'm not just saying it in a basic like in a physical sense when I talk about some of these people, you know what I'm saying? Like I'm talking about like real growth. So first, I'm going for 5 to 1. I'm going with Styles P. I'm an ignorant and negative nigga. I shoot guns and say I'm better than niggas, whatever the fuck. Now this nigga on juice bars and shit, and is really encouraging people to live better lives and shit.
Big facts.
He's probably one of the most positive people ever. I'm gonna go with Method Man after that. You know what I'm saying?
This nigga took 2 of mine.
Damn, that's a good answer though. That's a good answer.
He just looked at the picture and now Anyway, I mean, my third one, niggas may not remember that Snoop Dogg was fighting the whole murder, and he wasn't the most charismatic person on the screen. Now you can't stop him from being on the screen and talking and shit like that. So I just love the way he has aged or whatever. Then I'm gonna go with I'm gonna go Pharrell after that.
Okay.
He's
a vampire.
Yeah, Pharrell has no aged.
Never aged.
That's purely physical with him. Pause. And then I'm gonna go with I'm gonna just go with just on some random shit because now I know I can pick other people's sides, hip hop people and shit. I'm gonna go with Nia Long, because Nia Long is just Nia Long. You feel me? And that it just makes me smile when I see her living life and having that nice skin. You know what I mean?
She was just in that Netflix movie, You People. She was the mama in that.
Yeah, and she can dial it down and be, like somebody's mother. And then you see Nia, you know what I mean? She Nia. So she doing the whole Nia thing.
Salute to Nia.
Nia Long, man.
Who next? Who got a 5? Who next?
I'll go. Mine was based off of lyrics.
I love it.
So hold on. I got Thought, Black Thought.
Yes.
To me, he's probably just as dope as he was in the beginning of the days with the Roots, if not better. You know what I mean? While so many people other kind of stuff is slipped off, I feel like Thought is just as, from the freestyle on Flex, to his Stream of Thoughts joints, to the joint he dropped with Danger Mouse last year. Just like Brock and Rem, I got Meth just for the bars, because he got this joint on Conway's joint Limit. And Meth,
Limit is hard.
Like he just Meth to me is like top 5, when it comes to dropping a 16, like a guest verse, like if you see featuring Meth, you could just dial that in. That is gonna be crazy. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna go with Big Daddy Kane, just off the verses with him and KRS. Him being able to still set it off and let it roll, get bold. I just can't hold back. Like it was like that boy didn't miss a step, and I'm like, bro, you old as hell. I'm gonna go Nas. Just from what he's done with King Disease, Trilogy, and Magic, like Nas is still
that's a great one.
It is a great
one. Just won a Grammy and shit. Like this nigga still climbing.
Just won a Grammy.
Big facts.
And just being able to do stuff like that. And I'm gonna go with somebody a lot of people don't talk about. I'm gonna go with Big Boy, man. Big Boy has dropped 3 hard ass solo albums. He's got a joint with Sleepy Brown, and to me, he just suffers from what I call the "Where's Dre" syndrome. Like all niggas care about is Dre. Like
Yo,
Big Boy
dropped at least like 7 albums since.
Yeah, and it's still like, well, when you and Dre gonna get back together? When's the last time we talked to Dre? It's like, nigga, like, yo, this dude ain't dropped the album since The Love Below like 20 years ago.
Meanwhile, I got bangers.
All y'all want to know is about Where's Dre. So it was good to see him up there at the Grammys, but it's just like, again, it's sad that Dre wasn't there, with it, because it just seems like he's forever gonna be tethered, with Dre. And I don't feel like he's ever gonna get his props, because we did a show of of just people who are in the shadows of, and it's like I feel like Goody Mob would get more props, but they're in the shadows of Outkast, or Big Pooh, really. He's in the shadows of Fonte and Ninth Wonder. And the same thing with Big. Like Big would get so much love because he could do it all. You want him to rap fast, 130 beats per minute, he could do that. You want him to rap slow, you want him to make I like the way you move and get played all over, airplay. But it's just at the end of the day, it's gonna be Where's Dre?
That's a hell of a list. I had to rearrange some of my stuff because y'all boys was just
because you looked at the picture and just picked people from the picture. That's
your narrative, but I know about you. You know what I mean? I know about you.
Go ahead.
So I'm gonna go with
Sheesh.
Most Def gonna be first.
Most Def
man.
is a good one. That's a good one.
Yeah, you know what I mean? But
respect that man name changer. I'm gonna start messing with you.
You on my bumper, bro. God damn, man. Let me live, champ. Man, niggas took meth from me, you know what I'm saying? Pause. So I went with Raekwon, you know what I'm saying? Just because the chef's still the chef, man. And I haven't heard anything like in the last year, but the last album he dropped with it was like a cartoon cover that I heard. It had a card. He was like brolic on a card. That shit was crazy, man. Still the same chef. And he might not be old, but I just think, I was listening to him in the 90s. 50 Cent, bro. Like to see your beef with the whole world, you know what I'm saying? And actually still be here.
That's a good one.
And really flip this whole thing into a whole nother space. I'm like, I had to respect that. This is just an OG. Like, it ain't like he had the best bars or nothing, but I just still think he got a lot of influence and his beats is crazy. DJ Quick. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's no smut on his name. You know what I mean? And last, this probably not going to count, but I couldn't pick one of them. The whole TDE, to see where they started and to see where they are now.
Right now.
It's like the unbelief, and I know people got their gripes that they don't drop enough or blah blah blah, but they figured something out, man, and it's loyalty. You know what I mean? It's loyalty. So, yeah.
Still getting Grammys and shit.
Big facts. All right, here's my no particular order on my 5. Nas was my first one. The fact that he can go from Illmatic, where if I'm not mistaken, he had to rewrite the whole album because he lost the book of rhymes on the train or something like that. To go from that, that's the story I heard. That's the story I heard was that he had the rhymes written and he lost the book. I believe it was on the train and then had to go through and redo the whole album.
Yo, hold up. I don't mean to block your shit, yo, but niggas always tell them motherfucking origin stories and shit. Like Method Man, whole album got drowned out in the flood.
That's what I heard. Matter of fact, I'm looking for the link right now.
No, don't do that. Don't do that. Go ahead. No,
it was in an interview 2014. He told Zane Lowe at the BBC. He said he lost a couple of books he couldn't remember. He was forced to remember what he wrote, and then he came up with the rest of it on his own for Illmatic.
Oh, that shit even harder, nigga. I got it right here. I'm about to listen to that shit tonight, nigga. Just for that.
Black Thought is another one. Because I was an old Roots fan, and I remember him. It was always like he was always ill, but it was always like Thought is a part of the group. Like he's the lyricist of this ensemble, and he never stopped being a lyricist, but it's always dope to hear him consistently get better and better and better. And I also had Clifford Method Man Smith. There was a year or so ago, I was watching 6 ABC, and they had a picture of him going to be on Kelly and Ryan Seacrest show. All the ladies I took the picture, put it online because it said Clifford Method Man Smith. All the women on my timeline was hype, not because that's Method Man, but because that's Clifford Smith up there looking like whatever they wanted. So I don't know. He went from the snot nose with the fucking the lenses in his eyes. Like he was trying to not be the guy who he is right now, and he ended up in shouts to Meth for that.
You know, Cal, for a minute, the funny thing with Meth is shorties always fuck with Meth.
They always wanted him. He didn't want to be that guy, though.
He didn't want to be the sex symbol, but he'd always been that sex symbol. Even chicks was going crazy over Meth back in 94, 95.
When he
was doing that whole month for the man, like he hated it, but so it's because so many of the women who love him now are our age, or were my age. They was 40s. They fell in love with him back then, and they like, oh damn,
he wasn't trying to be that at all.
And they love him now. And they love him now on the power tip and shit. You feel me?
That's what I'm saying. He embraced it.
It's the same with LL. The chicks who like LL now, the same chicks who like LL back when he was doing Bigger and Deffer back in 80, 85, 86. You know,
it's that same audience. And
it's just a different. L wanted to be the lover man. Meth was like he didn't want to be. Like
this nigga really put one eye in and was hanging.
Niggas around you making fun of you for being a sexy dude, and so he ain't wanted. L applauded it. L was like, I'm with my shirt off every day. I'm licking lips all day long.
Man, Meth want that shit now.
Yeah,
now we do, But back then he was like one eye things. I'm gonna hang from a bus like
he was
this
just trying to be the super MC. Now it's it's different levels.
Nasty braids, flannels.
Now there were one of my picks was in the chat. Shouts out to Hope John Paul because MC Light. Anytime I see MC Light, that I don't want to say it's pure looks, but anytime I see MC Light, like damn, MC Light is really a gorgeous woman, and I wasn't expecting that from the paper thin 10% this days. I didn't know what Light was going to be at this point. And my final one, it's not hip hop at all, but Angela Bassett. I forget what her age is right now, but she don't look her age, and god damn it, she about to win the Oscar for whatever she did in the Black Panther movie. I'm putting it on Buffy right now. It's one, and there's a lot of black actors, like you could say Denzel if you really want to, but like I think there's a lot of older black people, Lawrence Fishburne, they're consistently doing
What's the nigga with the eye?
Forrest Whitaker. He's in Godfather in Harlem right now doing the damn thing. It just came back. Yeah, it's a lot.
It's back.
Yeah, I think season 3 just started maybe 2 weeks ago. Yeah, it just came back. But no, it's a lot of dope black actors that we grew up with who are still killing it right now. So yes, salute to them again. Hashtag ST5. If you in the chat, you on Twitter, let the people know who your 5 is, who aged gracefully. But I think that's it for the week, right, y'all?
Yeah, I got to gracefully tab out myself.
Yeah, we got. I appreciate y'all. Who we got to shout ourselves out? Who want to go first? Rem, Kill.
Yeah, I'm a slide man. It's your boy Remy, M&E Fit Camp, MNEFitCamp.com, MNE Fit Camp on all your socials. I appreciate y'all boys for the convo and the good banter and you know what I mean.
You already know. You
Yo,
said third season is good.
Yo, shout out to Hope John Paul, man.
Word up.
That's your boy Brockley _ Balboa. Check me out on Herbs Day. Yeah, I love all y'all motherfuckers, man. Thank you for tuning in. You know what I mean?
You already know what it is with me, Kill 889, Twitter, IG. Come through. I'm stirring up some shit every day, and it don't even mean.
It don't even be Kill. I'm at Cal on Twitter, at Black Wrestling on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. At Where's Buffy, wherever you get your social medias out there. YouTube.com/Where's Buffy Podcast. This episode for the people that see it on Friday is dropping on Tuesdays. Every Tuesday, new episode of Where's Buffy Podcast. We are in your ear and eye holes. I want all y'all listening to age gracefully And let us know in the comments how y'all gonna be celebrating 50 years of hip hop. My brothers, it's been great. New Jack, please take us out.
Like me or not, I didn't come up here to be liked.